Alrighty, well this can only end poorly. It is this game. Blaze of Glory, a victor rises from the ashes. Yeah, it's bad. Oh, it's a level with 0 words. Okay. We're starting with the events. Damn, this soundtrack. Psst. Scribe, take down this message discreetly and have it delivered to King Lutri at once. Your Highness, I regret to inform you that today's trial has not gone to plan. Our insider could not be found this morning, but we saw no way to halt proceedings without rousing suspicion. Now the trial has ended. The Spectres have accepted their new Soul First Sentinel. New Soul First Sentinel. Approved. Strictly confidential advisory report, trial by ordeal. The Royal Council has reviewed First Sentinel Awry Nagase's challenge to his brother Koi. Several council members initially raised concerns about the possibility of Awry becoming the first Soul Sentinel should Koi perish. Without Koi's limited influence, they argued, Awry's unpredictable nature could render him difficult to control. As First Sentinels are among the few afforded the privilege of holding private counsel with His Majesty, maintaining stability in this role is paramount. The favored party was contacted discreetly to confirm that he had a plan to ensure his survival. His plan satisfies our conditions, as accomplices passed our clearance checks. We have provided the spare for handover. Therefore, His Majesty King Lutri Manzek has authorized the trial by ordeal. So they were specifically going to do a showdown of some sort? The classic, like, duel where the victor is determined by God, essentially. And therefore is the one that's most correct. But I think they probably both died, going by the didn't go as planned part. They talk about an accomplice, so Koi was planning on cheating in some way. Copy. Copy of brother's correspondence provided by Koi. Koi, you always were a few rungs short of a full ladder. Why on earth would I accept such a challenge? Get stuffed. So, you admit you could not possibly win. Then you should renounce your title, or have you no shame whatsoever? I've changed my mind. I now realize there is no chance of me losing. Why shouldn't I take this opportunity to double my following? Before long, I'll be living better than ever. Off your Dedicants' donations. What a pity you won't be around to see it. That settles it. My Dedicants and I will show up at your temple on the date given to me by the Waterfall. You will receive no advance notice. I don't want you preparing any of your tricks. Even the palace will not know when the trial is to take place, until I inform them on the day itself. So dramatic. Fine. I'll be here, ready and waiting. You will receive no advance notice is quite a thing to say in an advance notice. I know that it's about the timing, I guess, but it's like he got literal advance notice. Hang on, Minnie. I'm still struggling to keep up with the victory speech. And before that started, I didn't have time to finish the minutes. My fingers are going to fall off at this rate. Y'all need film cameras. Please bear with me. I am still not entirely sure what just happened, but I'll do my best to recount everything. This morning, as I prayed in the study, I entered a deep trance and lost all sense of time and space. When my consciousness returned to this earthly place, I found myself surrounded by fire and smoke, yet felt no pain. Instead, I heard the voice of our beloved Waterfall. It said, "Fear not, child of the universe, for this is your destiny." This experience has given me a whole new perspective on life. As such, my 1. The Master of Ceremonies called the trial to order. So that was the speech, and this is the minutes. The Master of Ceremonies called the trial to order. 2. Zira Legstoy and Nali Zarati searched the participants, shackling them together inside the prayer hall, and returned the keys to the Master of Ceremonies. 3. Kwanzaa Rafeli, Tessa Navari ensured all exits were locked, as well as blocked by at least one follower from each camp. The king's soldiers also assumed their positions. 4. Anya Tranta and Fess Relaki handed out Molotov cocktails to all followers from both camps and saw that they were thrown through every window in unison. 5. The fire was allowed to rage for several hours until it finally died down by itself. 6. The victor declared as... unhelpful. So it's... everyone's Dedicants burned the house? Basically? Everyone's Dedicants burned the house down. With both of them inside, I assume? And the one that was... the one that was chosen by God was supposed to survive the fire. The true believer just committed to it, but the one that is corrupt and being paid by the government and is pliable had a plan to survive by cheating, probably via this secret door, because there's supposed to be a secret. We knew there was a secret room before, so he's gonna go into the trap door probably and get out of the fire. That's probably the older woman that's in the main story as a believer. A lot of this stuff, because we saw her in this little origin story. Fire extinguishers, none of them are used. How can this be? We cannot deny the Blessed Waterfall's choice. It truly is a miracle. First Sentinel Awry Nagasai has challenged his brother, First Sentinel Koi Nagasai, to a trial by ordeal. Koi has accepted the challenge. Both men will be locked inside Koi's temple, shackled to one another at the hands and feet. The building will be set ablaze by their Dedicants, who will guard all possible exits alongside soldiers from King Lutri Manzek's royal army. The Blessed Waterfall will surely protect the one who is worthy of its possession, leaving he who is undeserving to perish. Prior to today's trial, Awry and Koi Nagasai chose their respective overseers as followers. People that do restraint, exit way, and ignition. Yeah, we know who Tessa Navari is. So they were in charge of the exit. I wonder if someone went up there. Restraint overseers to secure shackles. Exit way overseers to ensure all exits blocked. Ignition overseers to start fire. So a member of each group had to do each part of the process, so they were both bound to it, neither of them could cheat. Supposedly. 2 small keys. Government badge. So all 3 of them have a badge. And all 3 of them had a fire extinguisher, none of which were used. Everyone's praying outside. It's not gonna say who this is. They have a key. That's suspicious. This experience has given me a whole new perspective on life. As such, my first act will be to put an end to donations and punishment. After that, I would like to live out the rest of my days in solitude, though I will always be with you in spirit. Putting an end to donations and punishment is suspicious. Just because only one of these groups cared about donations, so I would think it was Koi that survived. But they're announcing the stuff that they did. I wonder if they actually had a change of heart from what they went through or not. They have a Koi, so they have a key, so they did some sort of planned cheat here. Waterfall proclamations. December 4th, 1912. First Sentinels may not accept donations. They must do away with material goods and wealth. February 13th, 1915. When a First Sentinel dies, blah, blah, blah. The twins won. Yeah, the twins. June 3rd, 1939. Sin is no longer to be met with punishment, but compassion. November 24th, 1940. The first true, first sentinel Nagasai will live forever. Yep. So that's the one we saw back in the day. Where is that? Like, it's just like a dot. Oh, it's this big, it's this thing next to the door. There's 2 tablets here. I thought it was part of the bus. So the building collapsed on this person and they died while they were trying to open this trap door. They repeatedly burned their palm and they failed to open it. That means that they knew the trapdoor existed, which would indicate that Koi died and Awry lived. But what the person here is saying makes me think that it's Koi that's alive because they're the ones that were taking donations in the first place. Awry was already not taking donations. Unless Awry is choosing to impersonate Koi because they're twins. Did the Waterfall tell him to impersonate Koi because that's who the government wanted to live? Burned belt? Spiritual and elegant. First Sentinel Koi Nagasai says, aestheticism needn't be austere. That's when he started taking all the riches, became like a televangelist type person. Which, I don't know how those people even get away with it. Like, they're so openly and obviously corrupt and working against the god that they're supposed to be, advocating for in the first place, that I'm just like, I don't know how they have followers. They just seem so obviously just selfishly corrupt and pocketing donations and so on, and have it being against anything that the religions generally preach. It's strange to me. 1. Famous symbol of Koi. Yeah, the triangle on his forehead. 2. The necklace. Palladium necklace. Palladium jewelry is more expensive than platinum because it is harder to make. Cool. 3. Hand-woven mantle decorated with traditional Lemurian pattern. 4. Black pearl bracelet once belonged to Lycan Raya family. 5. Silken garment was custom made in Louis Bernard fashion house. 6. 7-headed serpent tattoo. Circling palm and back right of hand. So he has a tattoo on the back of his right hand. Donate to Koi's charitable foundation and get 1 as a sign of your generosity. 7. Model 40823 platinum watch from Boat Simon's latest collection. So that's a magazine. You can't see the back of his right hand here. That's his left hand that's up. And yeah, you wouldn't really expect him to be wearing a watch at this point. Yep, but that's what we expect to see escaping. To think that I left you in there. You're coming with me. God, is that like the golden idol? I don't remember how it went. She had some part of it at some point, for sure. I just don't remember if it was somebody else in the main story first, or if she started with it and then it all went into the events from there. Not going to reinvestigate that right now. What's left to investigate? The very fact that he escaped at all is obviously suspicious. Is there a keyhole on this thing, or do you just turn it? So it makes... Well, the keys are for the shackles. I take it that one of them had the key and escaped their shackles and hid in this trapdoor, while the other one was left to die. And then came back out once the fire had burned out for hours. They just hung out in this spot here. A red belt. None of these things are a red belt. So, let's see. Awry challenged Koi to a trial by ordeal. Koi accepted, thinking he could win if he... stole a key from... received a key from, because they have an accomplice. Someone. Oops. Unlocked his shackles with it, and then entered a bunker. But before proceedings began, blah, blah, the blah, and then... I'm gonna say Awry stole the key, and then... I do think Awry survived, is the surprise here. There's a burned belt, so I think it's Awry unlocked the bunker and then entered it with a belt. And we need to figure out who was in charge. Yeah, Koi's team for the restraint is Mashtateos. Great. Because you'd expect Jamat to be the one that gives him the spare key. They're the one that's in charge of taking care of their locks. Well, then you might expect them to lock up their opponent's leader. That actually might be 0 based on that logic. No. Okay, something's just straight up wrong. Awry challenged Koi to a trial. Yeah, because Awry's the one from the last chapter with the waterfall. Koi accepted, thinking they could win if you received a key from Mashtateos, unlocked his shackles with it, and then entered a bunker. Before proceedings began, Awry Nagasai unlocked the bunker and then entered it with a belt. Locked, unlocked, entered, exited, received, stole. There's a belt here. It's burned. So I kind of take that to mean that they opened the bunker with the belt when the other one couldn't do it with their bare hands because it was burning in the heat. Could the names be wrong? Anya Das Shamicha Koi Lutrimanzek is the leader of the country. Nali Zarati. Awry is the other one. Kwanzaa Tessa Zero. Who's Nali Zarati again? It's the only person on this list of names that isn't one of these 6 people, the leader of the country, or one of the 2 brothers. Wait, well, who are you? Many. Many's not even one of the names. Zero Legstoy Nali Zarati search the participants. Well, then it's Nali Zarati. And Zero Legstoy. Wait. Why is it Zero Legstoy here, but Nali Zarati is not listed here? Doesn't seem related. Man, I'm really missing something here, apparently. Accepted, thinking he could win if he received a key. Unlock his shackles with it, and then enter a bunker. That all seems correct, except maybe the name of the person that the keys came from, but if that's all that was wrong, I wouldn't be in the red right now. The gap has probably unlocked the bunker? As far as I can tell, the bunker doesn't have a lock on it, so that's probably wrong. Entered the bunker? Then there's this bit. I thought maybe they used the belt to unlock the bunker. Like, not unlock, but like open it, basically, because it was too hot to handle. But it is wrapped around this, which I was like, I thought that was maybe a contrivance, like he dropped it there. But maybe it was specifically attaching this little bit here to the rung, locking it closed. So if it was locking it closed, then the person that tried to open it wouldn't be able to open it, and that's why their hand was burning like that. They knew to open it, they were twisting it, but it wasn't working. If that's, it might be that way because it was locked closed. So entered the bunker and then locked it with a belt. But I'm wrong about what's going on here still. The favored party was contacted discreetly to confirm that he had a plan to ensure his survival. His plan satisfies our conditions and his accomplice has passed our clearance checks. We have provided the space Or the spare for handover. So they did plan on handing over a spare key. It's mentioned. But who is this? Let's see here. So he specifically gets it handed to him by a collaborator, which I think might be this guy. He's bald. Because they all are. Jamati Pira. So that's why that person's name is among the list of things. So it's from Jamati Pira. 2 or fewer correct. But before proceedings began, that's why you're so suspicious. That's it, isn't it? This dialogue doesn't make sense for Koi because Koi is corrupted and would not end the donations. It doesn't make sense for Awry because Awry doesn't take donations. And so there's no donations to end. I think it's Jamita is impersonating Koi. There it is. Okay. So the government plant actually murdered, went in on the plan, instead of unlocking the shackles, he hopped in the bunker and made himself to look like the person that he's killing, and he's impersonating them now. And they're both dead. Both brothers are dead. The entire family line is dead, I think. I don't remember if the mom was ever detailed as ending up somewhere. I think she was our last chapter. Well, hello. We have a timeline and more events. I'm just clearing the notifications because they're annoying. Okay, a few things going on here. 1594 password. Koi really has a sick mind, choosing this of all places, although I suppose no one will ever disturb the sacred ground here. Dispose this note when you're done. Are these numbers? 1594? I don't remember how the numbers work. I feel like I may be seen this before, but we've decoded so many things across both games and all the DLCs. The Dark Secret Journal. Yeah, so it's all the stuff he left with last time. So we saw him leave with the stuff before. There's glowing mushrooms in this place. But then, can I control this thing? A miracle, Pravi is saved. The prophecy is fulfilled, the first sentinels are born. Okay. Miracle at the water. Okay. Suddenly a fire rages the temple. Oh no, it's burning the... Will Pravi survive? But then a mighty wind howls to the east, the blessed waterfalls were redirected. I didn't have enough time to read it at normal speed. A miracle, Pravi is saved. Yep, okay. So it's the same thing that we saw before. That we've solved before. It must be a reenactment, I assume. Could this really have been the result of a miracle wind, like they say? Something about the footage seems off. It's not... I don't think it's real. I don't think the footage is real, buddy. They didn't know that it was going to happen. I take it stub, a few coins. To honor the death of First Sentinel Pravi Nagasai, the classic Miracle at the Waterfall will be showing it all week at the Lagoon Theater. Witness the first miracle ever to be captured on film. Okay, they're saying it's real. Real footage of the divine moment that gave rise to the first true Sentinel. The first true First Sentinel. What a horrible sentence. An ancient prophecy fulfilled. After the inferno, only one shall rise, bearing the mark of the universe. Admissions L2 only. Maybe it was. What else could explain the water's trajectory? If only we had a better viewing angle. A ticket stub. Hello, darling. Thank you for those wonderful photographs. What a handsome young man my grandson has become. How lucky he is to have inherited such a strong set of features from you and Shastai. Give my love to the family, Daddy. Oh, these are the two that were executed for questioning this movie. They saw this movie and were like, what's up with that? And they were murdered by the state. Pack of playing cards. What a normal country you guys live in. How dare they doubt the blessed Waterfall ended in public? As soon as this ends, I'm reporting them to King Lutri's purity guards. Damn. They were literally in a not private, but like they were just in a theater talking to each other directly. Pravi's murder, Lutri's murder. Oh, damn. There's a screening. Sequoia's miracle, Gresto's burial, because you had to discover the burial. You had to discover the miracle's truth in order to get murdered and buried. Awry's revelation leads to the trial by fire. The cinema screen has to be after Pravi's murder. Okay, I'm wrong about the timeline here. Lutri died in royal blood? Was that royal blood? Yes. But when was this? Does it say outside when it is? Well, Lutri is still alive, right? During the events of most of what we saw. I think Lutri actually might be the end of the timeline. Yes, so everything else was correct. Yeah, the first chapter we saw, which was so far back it feels like a different storyline, actually happened at the end. So first Pravi was murdered, the prophet guy. Then this screening happens in response to that. They're showing the supposed miracle. Then they are murdered. Koi, the son, performs false miracles with a forklift. And when it's discovered, it murders his father's attendant that was going to confront him over it. That his brother had a revelation with the Waterfall to challenge him. They did that, with Koi planning to betray him by cheating, but they both died, and then Lutri is murdered. Who murdered Lutri again? Did it turn out to be the same guy? It's the first... Oh, he's killed by the first Sentinel. Right. This entire storyline was about figuring out who the first Sentinel was at the time of the murder of the king. And now we know that it was this big ruse where like the father died, there was sons, there was schism in the church, and then an outsider came in to rig a trial so that both sons would die so he could replace and impersonate the supposed survivor. And then he would get a personal attendance with the king, which he would then use to specifically murder him. This is all a plan to kill the leader of this country. That's what it all was for. Okay. So it's all Jamati Pira. So Jamati knew when to hide in the bunker because Koi told him the trial. Awry told him the trial date? It had to be Awry, right? Because that's the one that knew. Motivated by... His final goal, which he achieved, was to kill Lutri Manzek. What motivated him? What happened in Eternity's End? This is the... Oh, this is when the... Yeah, that guy died. He shouldn't be here. This character only appears in chapter 1, 3, and 5. This journal doesn't really matter. So he said he didn't want any more donations because he didn't need them, but he also wanted to be separate from everyone because he didn't want anyone to identify him as not really being who he said he was, because up close they would probably identify him as not being the right person. So I don't think he cares that Koi murdered his father, because he's not interested in these people, he's interested in killing the king. So I don't think that's his motivation. What's his motivation? There's continually nothing on his body. He's not motivated by power, I don't think. Because he's not going to be in the running. This guy becomes king next. So Zarek Manzek. Is there evidence that Zarek bribed him? I'm playing catch up because I only just figured out that he's the guy, so I'm just trying to figure out what motivated him. It's interesting that there's like a barely visible specter of a character, and he's threaded through the entire narrative, and the end is all about having revelation around him. That is very Golden Idol, though. I was this close to trying to write a video essay about the first Golden Idol game because I was so interested in the fact that the game requires you to have a revelation about the story and what its big twist is in order to beat the game. And you do have to confirm that at some point by putting it in, but the game itself never tells you what the big twist is at the end of the game. It specifically requires you to, at some point, and it's a little blurry when in the story you'll have that revelation, you have to have realize something major about the story in order to make the game possible at some point, which is really clever, and they pull off tricks like that periodically. But it's a little intimidating if I then maybe fail to find it. Another goddamn trap door. The fact that there's a trapdoor twice is an interesting sort of callback. Doesn't seem super relevant. Does the yellow band mean something? It's really distinct. I just don't remember what it means. The daily Lemurians shy away from bold decisions. We are finished as a society. That is why the orders I have given recently do not disturb me. Until I tell you I am ready to end our struggle for unity, you must all embrace it. Bruh. Wondering if the stuff that he had him read might have also been sort of a jab. Struggle for unity. He didn't take the hard drive. I don't want to guess. I just don't have any good ideas. Faith, love, money, revenge, fear, lust, power, redemption. Fear doesn't really make any sense. Faith, I don't think he was a true believer. I don't think he's even from this organization. He's an infiltrator. Love, money, revenge, power, lust. I think the top four are no-goes. Money, power, revenge, redemption. I don't think it's power because he's not going to become the new leader. Somebody else will. Could be money. Money is the easiest thing. The idea that he's just paid by the prince to do this whole thing. He says, once I've finished this, I can finally rest. Which makes it sound like he's doing a job. But revenge and redemption also are like, those are an internal motivation that'd be very strong. They'd be like, this is it. It all comes down to this and then I'm good. I think it's money though. Nope. Jaminapira knew when to hide in the bunker because Awry Nagasai told Jaminapira the trial date. Motivated by money, his final goal, which he achieved, was to kill Lutri Manzek. I think this might be more Lutri Manzek told Koi Nagasai the trial date. No? Resto, Koi, Awry, Kwanzaa, Jamati, Lutri, Pravi, Tessa. So Manny's not here. First Sentinel, Golden Idol, the Monument. Koi's Diaries. He hit Jamatipira has access to the waterfall. So Jamatipira told Awry the trial date. It's the other way around. The waterfall was Jamatipira, I think. Because in general, whenever there's like a message and a prophecy being given through coded language and in all these games, it's always just some guy. Jamatipira knew when to hide in the bunker because Jamatipira told Awry Nagasai the trial date. Because he had access to the waterfall. And Awry said he would give no further notice. but it was Koi's lackey, or who Koi thought was his lackey, but it was actually double agent, or triple agent, because he was also betraying the leader of the country. It's gotta be a revenge, right? I just don't know if I remember what the revenge is for. Yeah, so he's motivated by revenge. Oh. They have white eyes. She has white eyes. Yeah. Because it's not until after these two die that he enters the story. So he was there to fuck over every single part of this process in order to kill, like he's happy to destroy the religion and then also kill the leader of the country because his parents were executed. Is it parent? Grandson. These are his grandparents. No, these are his parents. That's his grandfather that sent the message. Okay, put it together. Charismatic wanted to kill Lutrimanzek, blah and blah. I guess Koi and Awry. Because together they had executed his parents. Shastai and what's the other one names? Denizi Akai, I think. He be executed. Ordered that his parents be executed. Giovanni Piro was able to access the waterfall because Koi gave him the code so that Gresto's body could be buried there. Later, Giovanni Piro returned and spoke to Awry from behind the waterfall, ordering him to hold the trial by ordeal. Before the trial began, Giovanni Piro locked himself inside the bunker, leaving Koi and Awry to die. All this led to Giovanni Piro being appointed first sentinel, giving him access to Lutrimanzek. There we go. Absolutely wild. You've solved the scenario. After his parents' execution, Giovanni Piro sought revenge against King Lutrimanzek and his two first sentinels, Awry and Koi Nagasae. He joined Koi's following with the aim of obtaining intelligence and access. Before long, he had gained Koi's trust by using his knowledge of magic to devise ways for Koi to perform miracles. From there, he bided his time and used his proximity to Koi to uncover more useful information. After Koi gave Giamatti access to the waterfall, Giamatti spotted the cave behind it. Seeing an opportunity, he formulated his plan. To the airfield. To the airfield, Anya. Sigh. Goodbye, Lemuria. I'll never forget you. And then he got away. Does he have the imprint of the trap door knob burned into his hand? Did he make the mistake of touching it when because he hid there in advance? The whole thing here is he didn't I don't think he even was involved with giving them the keys or anything. Like, instead of being involved with the process of setting the thing up, he just preemptively hid down there and locked it with a belt And that at that point, just the person who thought they'd be able to later escape that way was fucked. But he didn't have to do anything, basically, once it was set up. Meanwhile in Albion. Look what I found over there, Oriel. The golden idol. Uh-huh. Now turn it over. What? Why? Oh. A packet of peanuts, please, barkeep. So she thought she found the golden idol, but it was just a fraudulent thing. But then she did go on to... I think didn't she go on to find the golden idol? But this was an unsuccessful attempt. It is so much narrative to put together at that point. Each DLC usually being its own little like side prequel, setting up a specific different element. Okay, well, I'll be back next time to try out the Age of Restraint.